Hello everyone, it's Lucy again. I specialize in reviewing great stories, especially hilarious ones. If you find them enjoyable, don't forget to like and subscribe to support me and keep me motivated. Now, let's get into the content. After using his power to knock out Shen Ming, our protagonist had 5 years deducted from his lifespan by the system. This made him extremely angry, questioning, why was it reduced by 5 years? Why so much? I've already limited my power usage. Then, the little Loli system pulled out a calculation sheet, complete with automatic pricing technology, saying, the host used the divine skill to scan the system, gave it to the girl, used the skill to punish the marrow. Tore through space with bare hands, crushed the cultivator, he stood there, stunned by the overwhelming information. How could there be so much? After hearing everything, the Loli system kept licking its pink hammer, saying, all these things consume your life force. Witnessing this scene, he couldn't hold back anymore. He directly cursed at the system, damn it, this is a scam. It's outrageously deceitful. After finishing his scolding, he noticed the little system crying hysterically, saying, every time you act, it's your own choice, host. If you scold me, I won't pay attention to you anymore. Hearing this, he immediately turned into stone on the spot, realizing suddenly that he was in the wrong. On the side, Ling Er asked, Fan brother, what did you just do? He awkwardly replied, I was just bitten by a vampire, but inwardly he thought, this isn't good. I need to quickly find some longevity pills. The scene shifted to Wan Bao, a bustling marketplace for trading various medicines. At this moment, someone was standing in front of the Wan Bao Pavilion, using a boundary talisman. He shouted loudly, channeling spiritual energy into the talisman and said, solid phase. Delighted with his achievement, he thought to himself that for the next 2 hours, no one would be able to enter. He took a breath and continued, then, no one can enter. Before he could finish his sentence, Yi Fan walked in and passed through effortlessly. He thought to himself that perhaps there were pills for sale in this alley. Seeing this scene, the other person was also astonished, saying, wait, what's going on? Seeing him walking like that, the person rushed up and said, mortals have no spiritual fluctuations, how can you pass through this boundary? Suddenly, the system issued continuous warnings, warning, there are Foundation establishment stage cultivators nearby. Hearing this, he angrily turned back and yelled, shut it off for me, shut off the automatic scanning function. He growled like a mad dog, saying, what's the deal with your scanning system? It always deducts my life points, doesn't it? The little Loli immediately said, of course it does, but this is a system that provides you with practical hacks. It only causes you to lose a little longevity, and you still don't like it? He then walked away like an old monkey, loudly demanding, shut it off for me, you keep running the app in the background, it's a waste. You'll never know when you'll get screwed over by someone. The person from earlier was dumbfounded, thinking to himself, is this guy crazy? Or maybe the boundary just started, and the spatial separation isn't complete yet. He reassured himself, oh, that must be it. At this moment, inside the Wan Bao Pavilion, Yi Fan walked in and couldn't help but marvel, this Wan Bao Pavilion is really huge. Everywhere you look, there are people selling top-quality goods. With only 1 year of lifespan left, he hoped to find something here that could increase his longevity. Thinking about it, tears welled up in his eyes as he silently vowed, if I don't find it this time, I'll have to take action next time. Life and death are indeed unpredictable. At that moment, a young woman approached and asked, is there anything this distinguished guest wishes to purchase? I am the division master of Wan Bao Pavilion in Tianwu City. My name is Wan Hongying. If you need anything, just ask me. Upon hearing this, he turned to ask, do you sell any cultivation skills that can increase longevity, or longevity pills, elixirs, anything that can extend lifespan? Hongying sat down and lit a cigarette, saying, methods related to longevity cultivation are extremely rare. Currently, Wan Bao Pavilion does not deal in such items. He sighed and said, no luck then, but the girl continued, We may not have cultivation skills, but I happen to have 3 longevity pills here. Hong Ying flashed a charming smile and continued, I wonder if they would be useful to you. As soon as she finished speaking, Yi Fan's eyes sparkled with excitement, and he quickly responded, useful? Of course, they would be useful. How much for a bottle? The girl frowned, thinking to herself, I can't believe I mistook him for someone else. Turns out he's just a mortal, not even in the qi condensation stage. Hong Ying smiled and said, elixirs are precious. Each pill costs 1,000 low-grade spirit stones. He chuckled and replied, 1,000 low-grade spirit stones. Haha, that's not expensive at all. Beneath his laughter, however, was a face filled with concern. Oh no, that's too expensive for me. I remember a street vendor in the center of Tianwu City selling items for only 20 to 30 spirit stones. What should I do now? I have no money. Should I wait and come back later after I've gathered some funds, or just leave? While pondering this, he looked up and proposed, Wan B Pavilion, what do you think about making a deal? Hong Ying, however, took his proposal lightly. What deal could a small mortal like you possibly make with me? You're just all talk. Undeterred, he continued, you give me 3 longevity pills, and in return, I'll protect Wan B Pavilion for you once. Hearing this audacious proposition, the girl burst into laughter. Haha, protect Wan B Pavilion? You're quite amusing, but I don't need it. No one dares to mess with my Wan B Pavilion. As soon as she finished speaking, a streak of purple light flew in, accompanied by continuous shouting, haha, Black-White Camp is here to clean up the mess. You fat pigs from Wan B Pavilion better hand over your spirit stones, pills, weapons, and treasures. The guy from earlier and another figure in a black cloak appeared simultaneously, with their guards drawing their swords and questioning, who are you? How dare you come to Wan B Pavilion to cause trouble? On this side, each of them was tall, burly, and reeking of sweat, their strength akin to that of a bull. They grabbed the guards and tore through them like paper, but the girl remained calm and said, Foundation establishment stage. And you dare come to rob my Wan B Pavilion? The guy smirked and retorted, haha, stop pretending, Wan Hong Ying. We already knew that the 2 elder guardians of Wan B Pavilion went to the Great Dragon Mountain in search of the immortal emperor's opportunity. Now it's just you here. The 3 of us can easily handle you. Upon hearing this, she replied, it seems you've planned this in advance, with a haughty laugh and a murderous gaze. But do you really think I'm an easy target? The guy with the mask immediately warned, careful, there's poison in the smoke. Before he could finish his sentence, he took a blow straight to the mouth, causing blood to spurt out. The girl then said, first one down, before swiftly moving behind the guy in the black cloak and asking, what are you staring at? He received a similar blow to the mouth. Next, the girl approached from behind again, landing a strong blow on the muscular guy's head, but he didn't seem affected. His eyes glared menacingly as he said, you damn temple demon, underestimate me. He then grabbed her in a hold position that could be easily misunderstood, causing her to panic and say, it's over, I can't take it back. Meanwhile, the other guy held her tightly, grinning wickedly as he remarked, you smell nice, don't you? The masked guy, now alert, interjected, Xiong Air, don't forget the main task. The boss wants us to eliminate everyone and leave no evidence behind. He replied, got it, I'll handle it quickly. At that moment, Yi Fan approached and said, hey, shopkeeper, remember our deal? 3 longevity pills in exchange for me protecting Wan B Pavilion, are you interested now? Yi Fan asked. Hong Ying turned back and said, if you can really protect Wan B Pavilion, then even 300 pills wouldn't be a problem. Yi Fan agreed to the deal. The system Loli, along with her adorable scythe, also joined in, cheerfully saying, harvest time has come, hee hee. Hearing this, Yi Fan panicked and said, but I only have 1 year of lifespan left. The Loli replied with a dismissive humph, telling him not to worry, as dealing with these weaklings would be a piece of cake. Hearing this, Yi Fan silently thought, is she encouraging me to use my cultivation? Frequent use might lead to dire consequences. I might end up directly sending myself to the afterlife, he thought. Then he said, whether it's with my pinky finger or a strand of hair, I'll crush them all. The muscular guy smirked and taunted, your lover is a fool, huh? Ha ha. He then instructed, Du Yen Gui, go kill that kid. The other guy eagerly responded, no problem, watch me turn him into a beehive with my whip. The kid doesn't know his place, suffering and becoming a corpse, haha. Then, each whip gently passed through Yi Fan's body. Zhong Er, still yelling like a madman, said to Hong Ying, you see, your last resort has also failed. That brat has turned into dust. Hong Ying, sweating profusely, thought to herself, what last resort? This brat is just trying to show off, even if he dies, it's not a big loss. Suddenly, the ropes that bound Yi Fan like a mummy showed signs of movement. After a second, he broke the cocoon and stepped out. Yi Fan looked over and said, I've figured it out. Dealing with you directly, I'll just use this tobacco pouch from Wan B Pavilion. The other guy panicked and said, how is that possible? How could this kid escape? So he attempted to restrain Yi Fan again. Yi Fan shouted loudly, are you annoyed by your own stabbing, huh? After the loud shout, he threw the tobacco pouch into the ground. With the speed of light, Du Yen Gui was impaled, causing an instant and gruesome death, and also destroying the wall of Wan B Pavilion. Yi Fan, astonished, said, damn it, I used too much force, what should I do now? Hong Ying was also horrified by Yi Fan's power, and with a swift strike, he detonated two experts at the Foundation establishment stage. Is this his true strength? She wondered. Witnessing this scene, Zhong Er was utterly terrified, sweat pouring down his face as he said, don't come any closer, or I'll crush her head. At this moment, Yi Fan exuded a murderous aura and said, do you feel capable of threatening me? He clenched his fist and said, it's laughable. Immediately after, the other guy's arm was severed by a powerful surge of spiritual energy, leaving him grimacing in pain. Yi Fan then said, you just humiliated me. I'll make you taste the agony of living worse than death. The tobacco pouch from outside was sucked in by Yi Fan and thrust into the guy's mouth. He stood up in horror, saying, no, how did this thing enter my stomach? Then, a green light emanated from his abdomen. Yi Fan said, the tobacco pouch belongs to me. It's an item of Wan B Pavilion and can't remain on your person. He smiled triumphantly and concluded, job done. The system now also announces, host has eliminated 3 Foundation establishment stage cultivators, deducting 2 months of life points. Seeing this result, he immediately felt satisfied and chuckled like a victorious rooster, haha, that's fine, that's fine. Not consuming too much lifespan to deal with them. While he was happy, the Loli system was feeling miserable, and the reason was that she only obtained a little life point. Her target for this month couldn't be achieved, so she was a bit annoyed. Then Yi Fan approached and pinched the cheeks of the Loli system, saying, I know how to control my own cultivation now, 9-9, don't dream of deceiving me again. The system girl continued to cry and said, you've made my face swell by pinching it. Let's just wait and see. Suddenly, Hong Ying approached and said, Junior 1 Hong Ying thanks the senior for the assistance. Please accept these 12 longevity pills. Yi Fan held the pill box in his hand and thought, 12 pills can only extend lifespan by 3 years. I still need to think of another way. Thinking so, he turned back to Hong Ying and asked, do you have any body-enhancing skills available? Upon hearing this question, she quickly replied, Senior, ordinary cultivators usually cultivate Dao techniques, immortal arts to advance their cultivation realms. They aren't particularly interested in purely body-enhancing skills. Many body-enhancing skills have long been lost, so Wan B Pavilion doesn't keep such skills. However, if Senior needs them, Wan B Pavilion will spare no effort to search for them. Hearing this, Yi Fan felt disappointed on the side, thinking, still no luck with finding a suitable skill. Meanwhile, Hong Ying was sweating nervously because she realized the unfathomable strength of this senior. She had to cling tightly to his sturdy thigh. Suddenly, a streak of purple light attacked, hitting Hong Ying and sending her flying. Yi Fan turned around in shock and saw a purple stream of energy. This little brat has some guts, huh? Daring to kill my junior from Black-White Camp, I want you to pay blood with blood, said the figure emitting the purple energy. He was Xiongde, a disciple of the early-stage divinity of Black-White Camp. The girl was in pain and couldn't believe that Xiongde would be so treacherous. He had hidden a clone within the body of Zhong'er. Panicked, he ran frantically, saying, "Are you still playing like this?" Yi Fan's face turned pale, and he said, "9, how much lifespan does it take to deal with this guy?" The Loli system appeared and said, 2 months, 3 months, maybe half a year, you guess. If you don't act, he will come over here. Xiongde immediately unleashed his ultimate technique, the Great Tao Divine Resolve. Yi Fan was pondering, what should I do? Should I continue to use lifespan? What if it's not enough? The system panel next to him showed his lifespan depleting rapidly. Xiongde charged at him, shouting, "You go die." He approached to grab Yi Fan and deliver more blows. Faced with life and death, Yi Fan decided to take the risk. "I'll use my life to confront you head-on, it's because of scum like you that force me." He then swallowed several longevity pills to increase his lifespan. "Now it's your turn to meet your end." Xiongde smirked and said, "Even an ant wants to resist. Watch me crush you." After swallowing the pill, Yi Fan's eyes gleamed with golden light as he declared, "I'll show you the power accumulated over billions of years." He pointed towards Xiongde, gathering spiritual energy for his ultimate attack. A precise and unstoppable blast followed, causing a deafening explosion that shook the heavens and the earth, reducing Xiongde to smoke and dust. After the battle, Yi Fan remarked, "Using too much force, still not good at controlling it." Then, the system panel displayed his current status, host Yi Fan's remaining lifespan, 2 years, 3 months, 20 days. Cultivation level, blood nourishment period. If you find this story interesting, don't forget to like and subscribe to support me for more videos. Hello everyone, it's Lucy here. Today, I'll continue with the latest episode of our story. If you enjoy it, please don't hesitate to show your support by liking and subscribing to my channel. Inside Wan B Pavilion, after the battle, the place was nothing but ruins. Hong Ying approached and called out, "Young master." Hearing her, he turned back to see what she needed. As he suspected, she had a request. Bowing respectfully, she said, "Please, young master, help Hong Ying wash the essence and marrow." He replied, "Why should I help you?" "We're not acquainted." With a sad expression, Hong Ying explained, "Young master, you may not know that I am the chosen one of Wan B Pavilion. But I was poisoned by someone, which caused my cultivation to decline. I've become an outcast of Wan B Pavilion. If you're willing to help me, I'll help you obtain the life-extending artifact, the pinnacle treasure of Wan B Pavilion." Hearing her revelations about her background and struggles, Fan brother fell silent, deep in thought. Then he turned away, leaving her startled, asking, "Young master, don't you want the pill anymore?" He turned back, teasing her with a smirk, "What? Do you want to wash the essence and marrow in a ruined living room like this pigsty?" She chuckled, intending to say, "Anywhere will do," but immediately realized it sounded suspicious, so she corrected herself, "No, it's not okay." After saying this, Hong Ying led Yi Fan towards a room at the back of the house. After a while, they arrived at the room. Hong Ying asked, "Young master, isn't this room spacious enough?" Then she inquired, "What do we need to do now? Should I prepare some medicinal herbs or magic formations for support?" He chuckled and said, "I'll wash the essence and marrow for you without the need for such troubles. You don't need to worry about those things." After saying that, Yi Fan pointed towards the bed and said, "You just need to lie down over there." Seeing this, Hong Ying almost spat out all her rice water, exclaiming, "What do you mean lie down?" Then her face flushed red, and she couldn't stop sweating. Hong Ying hesitantly said, This, I feel it's not quite appropriate, we've just met." Hearing her incomprehensible words, Yi Fan retorted, "Whether you do it or not is up to you, but don't talk nonsense." Reluctantly, Hong Ying said, "Okay, I'll do it," switching scenes, now in a gloomy and terrifying place, where houses were devoid of sunlight and black crows flew like ants. This place was the base of the Black-White camp. Lord Xiongde was now injured and bleeding, grunting in anger, "Who is he to be able to destroy my soul fragment? Could it be Yuaning? He might even be stronger than Yuaning. If he's a true cultivator, crushing me would be as easy as crushing an ant, would it?" As he pondered, he broke out in a cold sweat, worrying, "What should I do in this situation?" Seeing his expression, someone behind him spoke in a somber tone, "Lord Camp, judging by your expression, did you encounter a formidable opponent?" He turned around and said, "Yes, I just encountered quite a tricky one." "Do you have any strategies, strategist?" "Let's say it." The old man's aged face, accompanied by a chilling smile, responded, "Lord Camp, have you forgotten about our camp's treasure? The curse has killed 72 members of the Zhong family." The strategist's words referred to a scepter called the Scepter of Eternal Damnation. It can take away one's life unexpectedly, even Yuaning himself wouldn't escape. At that time, Wan Hong Ying, wasn't it because I arbitrarily dismissed, haha. With this suggestion, the Lord Camp immediately stood up and ordered, "Everyone, prepare for the sacrifice." Outside, his subordinates surrounded and captured people, gathering enough to bring back for the sacrifice. In another scene, Wan Hong Ying is lying on the bed revealing her watermelon. She was a bit hesitant and said, "Lord, this is too fast." Yi Fan replied, "It's okay, there will be a bit of pain later, just endure a bit and it will pass, so don't worry." After saying that, he activated his system to play around with hacking. As soon as the spiritual energy was transmitted, the girl suddenly arched her body and screamed like crazy. The overwhelming sensation of pleasure and numbness caused her to convulse uncontrollably because at that moment, there was an intense surge of power flowing through her veins throughout her body. After a while, the process of washing the essence and marrow was completed. Yi Fan wiped the sweat from his forehead and took a deep breath. "How do you feel now, Hong Ying? Are you comfortable?" Hong Ying blushed and, feeling embarrassed, replied, "I'm okay." But deep down, she was screaming, "Oh my God, how could I make such sounds in front of my senior? I'm so embarrassed, I wish I could crawl into a hole and hide. But my senior is too straightforward, how could he ask me directly like that?" But a second later, she noticed something unusual. The pill poison that had accumulated for many years had disappeared, and she had even transformed into a spirit body. Hong Ying was astonished and wondered, even the highest grade pills couldn't achieve this. How did the man in front of me just wave his hand and make it happen? What kind of cultivation level does he have? Thinking like that, the girl immediately knelt down and said, "Hong Ying is grateful for the senior's regeneration, thank you for granting the spirit body." Yi Fan, with a satisfied expression, said to her, "No need for formalities, this is something I've done for you. Now that the pill poison has been dispelled, let's see how you're feeling." After speaking, he waved his hand to bid farewell, but as he took a step forward, he was suddenly pulled into his own space by the system. He fell painfully, which made him quite angry as he cursed, "Damn system, you're so annoying. At least let me prepare a little more. Why did you suddenly call me here?" After finishing his rant, he realized something was off. The system's little sister, Loli, stood silently beside him. He asked, "What happened to you?" The Loli girl turned back, crying, and said, "Host, you're such a fool. You're about to die, and you still want to flirt with girls." Upon hearing the tragic words of the girl, he was also horrified. "What are you saying? I'm about to die," he exclaimed. The girl pointed to the system panel and said, "There's a wretched guy stealing my monthly pie. You're under a curse, don't you know? On the system, it shows your lifespan, from 730 days down to 700, then quickly dropping to 660, and then 610 days. The numbers kept decreasing relentlessly. He was shaken with fear as he felt his impending death approaching. Meanwhile, at another location, the people of the black-white camp were still sacrificing living beings, and the black blood was still draining the lives of others incessantly. Xiongda laughed gleefully and said, "Yi Fan, you're next to die." After brother Yi Fan was cursed by Xiongda, his lifespan was rapidly decreasing. The system's Loli girl, worried and somewhat angry, said, "Host, you're such a fool. Xiongda was defeated by you, yet he managed to curse you, and you didn't even realize it. As a mortal, you'll be killed instantly by the curse. But I've helped you prolong this little life of yours, do you even know?" At this point, the lowly girl couldn't contain her anger and displayed a chilling demeanor. She kept affirming one thing: how dare someone steal the fate I selected? I must make him shatter into 1,000 pieces and feed him to the fishes. Seeing the girl's intense reaction, Yi Fan also broke out in a cold sweat. "I've been cursed by someone, and I thought she was the one under the curse," he said. "Calm down, my dear," he added. After hearing this, Yi Fan chuckled nervously and asked, "So how much lifespan do I have left now?" Without hesitation, the lowly system replied to him, "This curse is extremely dangerous. It can accelerate the depletion of your lifespan by 100 times. Originally, you had 2 years of lifespan, but now you can only hold on for a week." Just a moment ago, he was able to laugh it off, but the next second, he was shocked to discover that his lifespan only lasted for 1 more week. He was extremely panicked and jerked away, while the system's Loli solemnly clarified to him, "That's right, host, you only have 1 week left. You're about to die, and we need to quickly figure out how to break the curse. This time, it seems like we're on the same front line." As soon as she finished speaking, the system's Loli promptly ejected him from the system space. Caught off guard, he tumbled out and landed right where a girl was bathing. Witnessing this scene, Wan Hongying was equally startled, jumping up without anything to cover herself. At that moment, Yi Fan also realized something was amiss and silently thought, "This darn system just threw me out here. How am I supposed to explain this now?" Hongying's face flushed, her eyes shimmering with shyness to the point of spinning as she hesitantly asked, "Sir, why have you returned?" Before she could finish her sentence, he placed his hand on her shoulder and called out, "Hongying." She looked up in surprise, unsure of what was happening, and asked again, "Young master, what's the matter?" Yi Fan looked at her with a serious gaze, devoid of any frivolity, and said, "Hongying, if there's news about the longevity medicine, come find me at the Jiukong Pharmacy in Nancheng. I have urgent matters to attend to and must leave." Hearing his words, she understood the gravity of the situation and quickly replied, "Young master, rest assured. Hongying will do her best to find the longevity medicine for you." As she finished speaking, Fan brother prepared to leave, his demeanor as dignified and aloof as ever. A moment later, he vanished into thin air, leaving her clutching her clothes, watching his disappearing figure, and softly calling out, "Young master." Meanwhile, at the black-white camp, in the residence of Lord Xiongda, the atmosphere was incredibly eerie, with a red dragon from the west and purple lightning bolts that sent shivers down one's spine. On another side, piles of human bones were stacked into mountains, filled with bloodthirsty aura, as if these crimson auras were being sucked away by something. Many master assassins gathered together, displaying their magic, while cries of despair echoed, "I don't want to die," filled the air. Facing these scenes was Lord Xiongda of the black-white camp, sitting on his throne with eyes full of murderous intent, devoid of any mercy. A girl seemed to be pierced by something, creating a gaping hole from which her life force continuously drained. Witnessing this, Xiongda chuckled in amusement, recalling his previous battle with Yi Fan. "It's fortunate that my clone hit that guy, leaving a mark in his soul. Now I can easily take his life. Whether you're a mortal or a celestial being, once you're hit by this celestial spell, you'll die silently." As he finished his sentence, he ruthlessly crushed the head in his hand. Suddenly, a voice echoed, "Dead." A swirling vortex of green space appeared from a direction. Inside, a hand emerged, grasping the scepter of eternal damnation and smashing it into pieces. Yi Fan appeared, looking at him as if he were already dead, and said, "So you've already envisioned your own fate." Xiongde, horrified and disbelieving, exclaimed, "Impossible. How can you sense its existence?" "That's the divine artifact of the immortal emperor era." Before he could finish his desperate words, Yi Fan interrupted, "Shut up and stop making noise." He then unleashed his terrifying aura, surrounded by immensely powerful spiritual energy. The system girl couldn't help but remind him, "You're playing a dangerous game, consuming half of your remaining lifespan with that move." Yi Fan remained silent. Indifferent to her warning, the system girl asked again, "Are you really okay? Aren't you afraid of dying anymore?" At this point, Yi Fan was less concerned about his own mortality. He looked at Xiongde coldly and said, "Instead of worrying about lifespan issues, I'm more concerned with ensuring his demise is suitably grim." Hearing this, the system girl agreed, "Then I'll lend a hand too. After all, we're partners, aren't we?" As soon as they finished speaking, the two immediately unleashed their techniques to attack him. Yi Fan and the immortal system girl decided to play ruthlessly against them. Powerful spiritual energy surrounded the two, accompanied by hands formed from spiritual energy, swiftly moving towards Xiongde to capture him. Witnessing this scene, he was terrified and exclaimed, "How can this be happening? You've clearly fallen victim to my curse." The force of attraction from their swirling spiritual energy pulled him in. Now Xiongde felt his own fear, desperately clinging to the rocks, but the pull was too strong for him to resist. Colliding with the swirling vortex, he was torn into pieces. Yi Fan, witnessing the scene, raised his hand to intensify the torment inflicted upon Xiongde even further. Inside the vortex, Xiongde screamed in agony, continuously questioning, "How can this be happening?" One final blow pierced through the layers of clouds, ejecting him from the earth, until finally, Xiongde disintegrated into dust amidst the vastness of space. Amidst the rubble, Fan Brother stood there, feeling desolate. Then he grinned and raised his sacred finger to shout loudly, "You wretched scoundrel, dare to offend me? You're seeking death." Just as he was relishing his revenge, the system girl cut in. At this moment, she seemed on the verge of tears as she said, "Master, you're celebrating too soon. Your lifespan is still depleting at a rate 100 times faster than usual." Hearing this, he was shocked. "I've clearly destroyed the scepter of eternal damnation, so why is this happening?" he asked. The system girl pointed at him tearfully and said, "It's too late. The curse has already attached to you. Destroying that thing was useless." Yi Fan checked his body and found a strange talisman on him. Horrified, he exclaimed, "What is this?" In his panic, Fan Brother turned into stone right then and there, thinking his death was imminent. Meanwhile, in Tianwu City, the old pharmacist shouted hastily, "There's a monster coming." People panicked and fled, warning each other to run away from the monster on the road. A gigantic black figure roared fiercely, charging forward in a terrifying manner, and that's it for now. See you in the next episode.